Greetings everyone and welcome back to Terra Nil, a game that I have covered twice here on the channel. Once when it was very, very early in development, back in the days of the very cute pixel graphics, where I found this on itch.io, and then again the more recent demo of the game as it now stands. But you will be thrilled to know that Terra Nil has now released on the 20th of March and developed by Free Lives and published by Devolver Digital. Terra Nil is what I would very lovingly frame as a reverse Factorio. I've seen other people call it a reverse city builder, but I feel that this goes beyond reverse city building, and it's really much more Factorio in reverse. We show up to a completely polluted, ruined wasteland. Not even the biters can live there anymore. And little by little, we make it a lush and pristine habitat with flora and fauna, just more Earth varieties. But as always, the best way to describe a game is to simply show it. So we're going to be jumping into a new game over here. But do note that at this point, this is going to be a batch recording for while I'm away. So whilst I very much look forward to any of the comments you may have down below, I will be reading them on my phone. I won't be able to implement them in the next 2 or 3 episodes. So a bit of a disclaimer there. As always, though, comments very much welcome. St. Algorithmus is always happy to receive a little bit of engagement. But here we are in the ruined landscape. Rocky, barren, but for a book and a dead leaf. A beginner's guide to ecosystem restoration, I think. Introduction. This book serves as a guide to the intricate process of restoring an environment from a wasteland to a thriving ecosystem. The process is not always easy, and even with this guide, you will need to experiment to understand exactly what needs to be done. In the pages that follow, you will find descriptions of the region's flora and fauna, and that you are likely to encounter. The book also contains blueprints of machines and structures that will help you in your task. If you're successful, you will eventually no longer need this book, and when that happens, I ask that you pass it along, that it may serve someone else as it has you. Good luck with your journey of restoration. Okay. Select your approach. There are a variety of approaches to wasteland reclamation. What's yours? Are you a gardener? You want to create beautiful, vibrant landscapes? This is a more of a relaxed play mode. Ecologist, I want to restore biodiversity and balance to the environment. Recommended for players with a strategy game experience. Or environmental engineer, I want to rebuild the ecosystem with sophisticated machines. Not recommended for a first playthrough. Very well, we'll go with the regular one then. Oh, it actually does give us some details as well. Okay, so starting resources, base building, cost percentage. So, tutorials disabled. I think more than anything, I would like the tutorials on because the game has probably changed even since the demo, the more recent demo, quite a bit. So I'd like to check out how that all comes together. The controls, to begin with, some basics. Pan the camera by moving your mouse cursor to the edge of the screen. Very well. And then we can use the middle mouse button. WASD. Helps if I read what's being asked of me. Zoom in, zoom out. Any wasteland reclamation project should start with a turbine. Select one and place it now. Okay, provides electricity nearby. May as well just go bang smack in the middle. Now that you have electricity, you can clean the soil. Try to fit 4 toxin scrubbers as far from the turbine as possible. Cleanses nearby wasteland of toxins, converting it to fertile soil. We need a couple of these in real life. There we go, though the last one much less effective because we were losing so much of the potential soil to convert. Some buildings can be rotated with R or the mouse wheel. Select the irrigator and try this now. Oh, that's actually quite cool. Oh, I see. So it's telling me the direction it wants me to place these in. Oh, fair enough. Now, when we place these down, it gives us an idea of how much tiles it will affect. So this, right now, as I place it, because the irrigator can only irrigate fertile soil, it won't have any effect on wasteland. I'd only get 74 tiles worth there, 27 there, 80 there, but 127 here. It's nice that this is making it so easy just to decide where you want to put things, but you don't have to have corners, you can have straight pieces as well. So that'll give me 106, and it will green all of the fertile soil. If ever you are lost, you can always look in the handbook for hints about what to do next. Okay. Greenery goal. Increasing the landscape's greenery is your primary goal, but remember to keep an eye on your available resources. To begin with, get the greenery target to 30%. We can check in the handbook right now. So that's the introduction. There's 3 biomes, 6 animals, climate 07. Oh, in this current location, temperate. We can have a look at the various regions. The temperate region reclaiming this landscape will involve wind turbines for power, toxin scrubbers to clean the soil, and water pumps to restore the rivers. The steps to creating a temperate forest are not always straightforward, and you may need to use controlled fires before the trees can thrive. The first step in any restoration endeavour is to restore water and plant life. To begin with, increase the greenery in this valley with irrigators, pumps and toxin scrubbers. And then it's got a bunch of locked steps, I guess. Then you've got the building screen. Got a little bit... I love the design of this. I love the schematics. This is actually really, really cool. What a wonderful detail. Also, beware birds. Provides electricity to other buildings nearby and must be built on rocks. You can create new rocks with a calcifier, but it's more efficient to use all of the naturally occurring rocks first. Toxin Scrubber cleans wasteland to create fertile soil. This must be done before anything can be grown. For maximum effectiveness, try to build Toxin Scrubbers to cover the largest possible area with the fewest possible scrubbers. Irrigator creates greenery on fertile soil, which in turn gives resources. Irrigators have 6 different configurations. Now, I'm not going to read all of this as we go because it's probably going to be quite a lot, but we'll dip in here every now and then and check things out. That flamingo is wearing its inside on its outside. I do not know if I approve. Okay, now this is brand new. I've not seen this before. How fascinating. Look at all the animals. I'm assuming that there's something going to enable us to discover them, and an index at that back. Absolutely wonderful. Not enough online tutorial books have indices. Increasing the landscape's greenery is your primary goal. Yes. So, with that in mind, let's pop down some more turbines so I can get some more power to where I need it. And then, hopefully, get this area fully set up. Now, let's have a look. If I place this back here, I kind of want the least amount of scrubbers used, but I feel like if I were to place this there, and this here, and then I could get another one in this corner. It feels like that's a waste, though. And yet, it's exactly what I'm going to do. I know. It told me to do it with as least waste as possible. Now, I could... okay. So, story time with Aavak. This is not a game about perfectly achieving things. Like with nature, some things aren't perfect. There's organic order, or otherwise known organized chaos. So I'm not going to try and get every single tile everywhere. That would be woefully inefficient with our resources. But also, again, nature is nature. Also, I happen to know that if this is anything like the demo later on, these random tiles, if you don't quite manage to cover them all, they'll get filled in. But one thing I did notice is that the wind turbines have a limit to the amount of devices that can run on them. That is kind of new. I like it. That adds a new strategy element to this. Very much approved. Can I scooch that down a little bit? Almost got everything there. You know what? We can put this last one in. I know I said I wasn't going to, but shh, it's fine. Right, now comes the irrigator. So, let's see what we can do first and foremost. Could I... sadly, I put that in the bad place for that then. I can get 90 here. I can get 100 there. 106, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. So let's pop that down. And it looks like we just achieved our goal. Alright. Oh, that's very nice. So it's expanded out the border, and it's also credited us for the toxin scrubbers. So they were clearing out the stuff beyond the border before we could even see it. I like that. That's very nice. I would have felt very cheated if that hadn't happened that way. Alright. Now then, what are we working towards now? Reclaim 165 more greenery tiles to unlock. Very well, I will do my best. Let's see if we can't pop this one here. Or maybe... well, again, we don't need to get every single little bit of efficiency. So that little bit there, that's just going to remain as it is. That's just the way it's going to be. However, out here we can probably do this a lot better. So let's try and not waste just, you know, the whole thing. Oh, well, it's not going to be perfect. Nature isn't perfect. That's all well and good. But wantonly wasting space, that's a different thing altogether. And now, I'm not sure that this is necessarily going to be the best place to pop this. That's not too bad, though. But let's have a look at the other shapes that we've got. Perhaps the corner shape. Could we fit this in there and get a decent amount? 111 there. 121, 132, 140. Ooh, okay. I know. It kind of hurts my brain right now as well. But, trust me, it will make sense eventually. Right, we've unlocked the water pump. Let's have a quick glance at you. Under buildings. Water pump. Fills dry riverbeds with water. Rivers flow further when pumps are placed on higher elevations. Remember, river tiles don't count towards your greenery percentage. Duly noted. Have we got any high areas? We've got a high area over there. Another high area down here. A little place there as well. In fact, that little place might be close enough. Yeah, we can actually get a water pump right at the edge here. If we pop it there, then we'll cover quite a lot of the river. Alternatively, we could pop something down here. Let's get a little wind turbine over on this side. We're going to want to connect up to this regardless. That will cover the entirety of this river there. You notice how where the river is flowing, it's now actually greening the river banks. I quite like that. I was always a very big fan of that. This game is incredibly chill, but it is a strategy game at the end of the day. There is a decent amount of strategy here for you too. I could place this there, but it wouldn't really be that effective. There's a better way for us to deal with that later, I feel. Let's even put a turbine down there as well. And just see what I can do. Can I get it to get all the way up top? Yes, I can. That actually does really well. That's going to cover that entire area. And because it moves out on the same level, putting it midway like this, if I'd put it at the head, even though that would kind of make more sense in a way, and it would definitely look more interesting, this will allow me to get that and also spread the water as far as I can down here. Now, we've unlocked the calcifier. The calcifier, as we've probably already covered, I'm fairly certain we did, turns nearby greenery into rocks and must be placed on a river. Before placing a calcifier, use a water pump to create a river. That would make sense, yes. Now then, let's have a quick gander. What could I do here? I could pretty much cover everything in here. The only place then left without water will be at the very, very top here, which I could fix by doing this. And am I going to fix it? Yes, I am. Shh. I know. I don't need to. I don't care. Right. Now, with that done, we've got to get to 75% greenery. Oh, we've still got a little bit area up here as well we could do. Okay, that is honestly a step too far. I refuse. I'm willing to be inefficient up to a point, but that would be asking too much, even for me. Let's see. Is there a better... I don't think there is going to be. 72, 73. That will do. Let's pop that one in there then. There we go. We're getting a good ways along. Now, I would very much like to try and cover this area. A single turbine right there would be fine, but we're not going to be able to fit that. That's just an impossibility, sadly. But this will give us a solid 59. Is there somewhere better? I don't think there's going to be. So we'll just pop that in there. Now, that part is still going to be wasteland, but that's alright. Almost up to the amount of greening that we need. This looks like a very, very good spot for us to try and get some greening going, though. Let's pop that in there. See if I can't use this turbine to get a little bit down here as well. There we are. And if I can, about there would be perfect. Now, there's going to be a little bit of gap there, but I think we should be able to look past that. Hopefully you are in agreement. 107 was the best I saw. 112, actually. Okay, 112 it is then. Let's get that going. Brings us up to 80. We have now got the excavator. Now we have a quick look at this. I believe this tool has a bit of a caveat to it. Oh, back one. An expensive way to create a new riverbed when the naturally occurring ones are insufficient. Use excavators as a last resort, as they poison the land around them. Duly noted. Duly noted. Now, the thing with an excavator is it will just slice the land open. Straight down. If I were to place it up here, it would cut a path all the way straight down there and into this area beyond. What I would like, though, is to get some more riverbeds over here so that I can actually hook that up and get a little bit of calcifying, because at the moment I can't calcify anywhere over here to get more power. And without the rocks, I can't build turbines, so on and so forth. So we are actually going to need to do this, which is a bit of a pain, but it is what it is. Might need to do it down here as well, which is going to hurt because we're going to lose some greening that I've already done. But c'est la vie. There we go. But thankfully, the riverbed re-greened a certain area, so that did help out a little bit. But we did lose some of the greenery there. But now that I've done that, I can put a calcifier somewhere in here. Well, there will do. Get a bit of rocks, and that will allow me to put down a wind turbine. So that's how you can spread out beyond the area you naturally have available to you. And it's something that's going to be an important one in the future. Now, obviously, this is the tutorial, and so I'm being a little bit fast and loose with my resources. But that is definitely something you want to consider before you start actually greening areas. Have a think of where you're going to need to be setting up excavators, because again, they're very expensive. It's not a cheap way to do anything. We could run this down around here, I think would be fine. I wonder if I did something. It gets hit by the rock and immediately stops, which is a bit of a shame. But if we place one over here, then we can at least get a bit more river over on this side. Seems to just fire a massive shell. It doesn't go any further. That's a bit of a pain, if I'm honest. Okay. Well, let's get a pump over here. I'll take the water a little bit further. That's nice. I guess I could have a pump somewhere down here, perhaps, helping out. We'll see. Let's get a calcifier there. Get another turbine right about here. There we go. And we should be able to green a lot of this landscape then. Now, we do want to try and be efficient with it. There, and we have dropped below the amount I need. So, almost there. I'm going to need to be a little bit more careful with spending the money here. Those excavators are painfully expensive. This will only give us 52 bucks, and it'll cost me 50. There we are, brings us up to 91. I may still be able to eke out enough. I would lose money overall by placing that one. Let's have a gander. Well, I've got 141, so I should be able to place down a bit. Let's get one about here. Well, actually, let's try and spread it out a little bit more. I could do one on this side. Sure. Now that's hooked up all 6 to this device, so I'm going to need to... Actually, no, the irrigators don't use power, so we should be okay. So this will give me 80 there. 82 is the best that I've seen. 84. Sure, let's go for it. We are right on the edge, but don't worry too much about that. Being right on the edge is not nearly as dangerous as it seems, as we're about to crest into the next component, the next part of the map, and that will free up a lot of things for us. There we go. And then finally, this will get us the rest of the way. So 125 there, 150, 52, 152 seems the best, 155 actually. Okay, let's go with that. And there we go. Crested into the next section. Once the backbone of the ecosystem is thriving, your next step is to increase the diversity of growing plants. Introduce fynbos, wetlands and forests. You'll also need to begin to pay attention to the local climate. Very well. That's given us a nice little boost there. Alright, so now reclaim 150 more fynbos tiles. We've also got a beehive and a hydroponium. Create wetland. Must be built on an irrigator near water and on low ground. Now, if we have a look in the handbook, it'll give us a little bit more info about this, but let's jump forward all the way through the pages. Right, the beehive. Pollinators from hives turn surrounding grass into vibrant flowers. Remember, only Finboss flowers created around beehives count towards your goal. The hives themselves do not. And the hydroponium creates incredibly biodiverse wetlands in the area that are already waterlogged. Hydroponia can only be built on irrigators that are not on raised ground. Sometimes the best way forward is to start afresh with new knowledge. No, I refuse. That sounds like giving up, and I'm not going to give up on nature. How dare you even suggest I would do such a thing? That is gorgeous. I love the animation there. The solar amplifier focuses sunlight, allowing for the starting of a controlled burn. We don't need that just yet, but it's not too far in the future. Are there many trees around? There's a decent couple, actually. We'll pop one in there. This only cost me 35, so it's a pretty decent return on investment. We could have 57 there, 67, 81. Let's go for you. Right, there we go. We have got the Finboss up to 110%. Absolutely marvellous. Now let's have a quick look at this. There we are. One of 3 biomes has been created. We want buildings, sorry. Now, we've unlocked the solar amplifier. Focuses the sun's rays in a concentrated beam to start controlled burns. Fires can only be started in Finboss or Tundra. But can spread to greenery. So, one of the things to be aware of, if I set the fire up over here, all of this greenery is going to go up. If I set the fire over here, only this greenery will go up. And that is a very important thing to remember. It can go very, very awry very quickly. However, one thing to note, you are not limited to only the areas that you've previously unlocked in the last stage. You can happily go ahead and continue spreading greenery around the map. And I recommend you do before you start setting forest fires, because you do want a decent bit of the map uncovered. 153, right there. There we are. We do want a fire to spread properly. We don't want a small burn, because I want a decent-sized forest, basically. We'll get a little bit there as well. And we want that one, I think. 155, probably 159. Probably about the best we're going to get with that. Okay, there we go. Now then, if we go back over here, we can place this down, and I should, if I'm lucky, be able to start a fire right there. And this should spread out through this whole area if we're very, very fortunate. There isn't another tree available for me to set alight, unfortunately, so I'm just going to have to hope that this will do. Right, so the area of effect that we need for the solar panel, there we go. I want to go for this, and if we're lucky, so concentrate the sunbeam, and there we go. It's hit all of the greenery. Now it's going to smash a lot of these buildings, but this is why I did it on this side and not on this side. The greenery is going to get a bit messed up, but it's necessary. We need a controlled burn to provide the nutrients for the soil for our trees to start. Now I kind of want a burn up here as well, if I'm honest. So along that note, let's get a burn right there. Go. Perfect. And we've already got rid of the solar as well. Now, the Arboretum uses nutritious ash to create forests. Can only be built on a burnt building husk. And for that, well, actually, our next goal is the wetlands. I suppose we can do that one first then. Sure. Right, so we need a low ground. Have we got any low ground? We don't have any low ground ones. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. There we are. We can get 35 there, but these have to be near the water's edge and on the lowest level, and we just don't have many of those. So I'm going to have to build some specifically to create these wetlands. That's a bit of a pain, but okay. I can drop this one in here. That'll be fine. And then convert all of that to wetlands. Now, it does look like the wasted land can't be converted to wetlands, so I'm going to probably want to do something about that. However, let's see if I can't get you to grab a decent amount of this soil up here. There we go. Get another big old wetlands over there. It's going to be a very, very beautiful area once we've actually got everything set up correctly and animals start moving in. This is going to be gorgeous. Look at the birds. We've already got flocks of birds coming through. That's fantastic. Absolutely marvellous, in fact. Do we want to make wetlands over here? I mean, I kind of do, actually. Let's give it a shot. Let's do something like this. Just for the sake of it. There we are. And turn that to wetlands as well. Only 43 there. But there we go. We've managed to get the research centre. Reduces the cost of some buildings and unlocks the ability to manipulate the region's climate. Construct one more research centre. I will, but first... Alright. I guess we're going to be doing this. We'll pop this in. We'll green it. Tiny bit. We'll actually lose money on that. And then we'll convert it to wetlands again. 17. There we are. We've now got both areas fully set up. Marvellous. Now let's go and have a look at the research station. I don't remember if that was a building before. Actually, I think we went past it, didn't we? Yes, we did. Research Centre. Uses advanced equipment to allow for climate manipulation. Constructing a research centre makes many primary reclamation buildings cheaper and focuses the sun's rays into a concentrated beam to start a controlled burn. Fires can only be started in Fynbos or Tundra. Yeah, solar amplifier. Alright, well, let's pop you down somewhere. You know what? Sure, let's pop you down in the original area. Constructing a research centre makes many primary reclamation buildings cheaper. Now that you've learned the basics of restoration, you need to begin to address the regional climate. Climate attributes. The climate is defined by these attributes. Right now, we are only interested in humidity, but these will change in the future. Rightio. Reaching certain thresholds of attributes will have broad effects on the environment. So, at 22%, wildflower blooms. 30% migratory birds return. We've already seen those. 40% fungi in forests. At 50%, we'll see ferns on riverbanks. Oh, sorry, at above 55%, we'll get 50 points for it. At above 80%... at 70%, it'll start to rain. Now, this is an important one. This is a super important one. You don't get any cash back for that one. You don't get any reward, because the reward is the rain itself. And you'll see what I mean when we get there. But above 80%, we'll get water lilies blossoming, and above 90%, salmon runs. All right. Growing conditions. Buildings that grow plants, like the irrigator or beehives, are also affected by regional climate attributes. They will have an ideal condition. Creates greenery by watering nearby, so that's wildflower blooms. I don't know, really. We'll have a look at that. Many buildings modify the climate slightly, but some, like this cloud cedar, change it significantly. Cultivating the right climate is an important step in your reclamation journey. Good luck. Okay, so we've currently got ideal conditions for our irrigator, so why don't we try and do a touch of irrigation. I would like to calcify this area, get down a wind turbine. I'd like to try and calcify as much of it. Sorry, not calcify as much of it as I can, but green as much of it as I can. So with that, should be able to... Where are we? There we go. 73, 78, 83. That's good for me. There we go. But that was ideal. So, as you notice, a wildflower bloom occurred. So you can compare this to the greening that we've done elsewhere, and there's not as much going on there. We've got little bits of flowers and such, but nothing truly wondrous just yet. But that is a much, much beautiful pasture there. All kinds of butterflies and bees going all over the place. It's wonderful. And that is going to be the case with a lot of the buildings. Let's have a look. So, ideal conditions for wetland right now. Sadly, we haven't got anywhere to put wetland, but I do want to see what that sort of wetland would be like. So, how about we just pop this in here? It's fine. I don't mind losing the 48 for the sake of seeing this. It's going to give me an extra 10 because... Oh, that was ideal, but it'll give me an extra 10 for turning this into wetland. And let's see if that does anything else. Yes, it does. That's actually gorgeous. So if we have a look over here, let's try and pick out the differences, because that looks actually pretty nice there, but it just looks like this is a lot more dense, and it's got much more dense flora along the riverbanks, perhaps. And it's a little bit more subtle than the others, I think, but still very, very nice to see. We've got the beehives. Do we have any more trees to place the beehives on? I do not know if we do. I believe we've got one, so sure, let's place this down and find out. Pop you in there. So this should be ideal. Much more aggressive blooming around that beehive. So again, comparing the differences, that's actually quite gorgeous. We're at 48% humidity right now. So we'll have fungi in forest, which is a good timing because it's now time for us to build forests. This one, we're almost at the end of its ideal conditions. That was luck, not judgment. Let's go down here then. Sure, let's pop that in there. Oh, that's beautiful. Ideal plus 20. And I guess just more vegetation difference and foliage. Better biodiversity, I guess. And let's get something... Oh, wow, that's actually really quite massive. 104 there. And there we go. We've now completed everything. Right, with plant life and climate re-established, the final step is to construct an airship by recycling your buildings. As you remove your presence, introduce fauna to as the new custodians of this ecosystem. So we've got 2 out of the 3 biomes. There are 6 animals and 7, I guess, climate challenges. But we're now up to tier 3. And percentage of buildings that have been recycled, 0%. Well, we're not ready to go just yet. Still a few more odds and sods that I would like to do. Pop that in there while it's still ideal conditions. There we go. And we'll see all of that changing up. That is actually really, really looking lovely. And you don't need to do this at all. But am I going to do it? Yes. That being said, I don't know if we're going to be able to get back there easily. So, this is where we need to start looking at these. So, ferns on riverbanks. I've placed down pretty much all the buildings that we were going to place at this point. So, I feel it is now possible for us to start increasing the water with the cloud cedar. That was 15% there? Yes, that was 15%. It looks like it depends on the amount of just water nearby the cloud cedar. That makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead for the 15% here. So ferns on riverbanks now. We can already start seeing them popping in. That's actually pretty cool. Liking it a lot. We will next want rain. Now, that's not far away. What could I do? It's 9% there. Sure, we'll go for a 9%. Brings us up to 71, which means rain begins. Now, that one's going to be an important one. Because at this point, this will basically take care of itself. I can still put points into it to make it happen faster, but I don't need to anymore. Let's go for 10% over there. Brings us water lilies blossom. Water lilies here. Now, I'm going to stop doing anything. Watch the percentage there. It's at 81%. We've got clouds now moving across. You can see there's shadows here and there. I just love how subtly everything changes in this game. It is such a remarkably gentle gaming experience whilst still being a game. And that might sound a little bit confusing, but what I mean is that there are lots of very Zen-like games which are largely creative. Townscaper is a brilliant example of this. It's less of a game and more of a toy. More of a distraction. You play with it, but there isn't really any objective other than when you want to make for yourself. You just make a town. But this does have strategy. This does have a game in there. Notice how we're making ecology points, and the humidity isn't going up just yet, but I believe it may go up just due to the rains itself. But with regards, and all of the areas around here, all of the spoiled soil, not just the fertile, that's been converted to greenery. So once you get to rain, everything takes care of itself. But with games like Dorfromantik is another great example. Much like Terra Nil, it's incredibly relaxed, incredibly chill. It's just a very zen-like experience. But there is strategy there. There's quite a lot of strategy there if you want to look for it. And very much as we, about midway through, it was only my knowledge of the game that prevented me from just clicking on the restart button. I knew that we could recover from where we were at, but you can lose this game. There is a game here, and I think they've struck such a perfect balance between it being a game and it being really relaxing to play. 11% there, yes please. Salmon run. So now, we zoom right in. Salmon are heading back up the waterfalls. All of them. How do they know? Well, there we go. We're going to need a little bit left. There we go, 11%. That takes us all the way up to all of the optional goals. We've got 100% humidity. It's going to feel like moving around in a thick soup. The air, that is. Obviously, if in the water, then it should feel not like a soup at all. Actually, it should feel quite thinner than a soup. Maybe a broth. Climate, 7 of 7. So now all that remains is the wildlife. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to drop the airship down somewhere. I can't place it in here, but we should be able to place it somewhere near the banks. There we go. We can place it there, or I could pop it over here, perhaps. Let's find somewhere where I'm not going to make a dent in what we've already recovered. I guess I could put it there. No, I think we'll pop it down here. This makes the least amount of impact on the specialist terrain. Alright, now then, we've got a recycling silo. Now it is at this point that we want to start pulling up everything that we put down ourselves. So that's actually a really good position there. I can grab all of these buildings. As you notice, they all get collected. And this silo has now got 145 resources to recover. We're going to do much the same down here. Try and hit everything we can at once. There we go. Now clean all of these up. There we are. Now we're going to need to wait for rain to recover all of that. But we now have a recycling drone. Travels along rivers to collect recycled material from loading docks. So let's place one of these in the river. There we go. Construct 0 more drones. And now we've got the loading dock, and we've also got the pound lock. Allows recycling drones to travel up and down waterfalls. Am I going to need one over here? No, I'm not, because that's actually not a waterfall. We just cleaved through the mountain. But we are going to need this loading dock, and if I can place it well... Oh, drat, I can't. I can't get both of them at the same time. That's fine. I don't mind spending it to get just these two together. But I'll see if I can maybe hook into another one, because they do actually pull up the loading dock as well and bring everything back. They drop that off, and then depending on how much you've achieved, the airship itself will start to change shape. And this is actually one of the things that I really adore about the details in this game, is the way that the airship changes shape. It just really leans into the whole idea of just leave nothing behind, but don't waste anything. Don't just destroy it. We're going to have to grab that from there, and I guess this one can go down there. It's 155 as well. So we shall allow our dock. Now, the stuff down here is going to be a little bit more difficult to get to, but we'll come back to that in a moment. Don't worry, there will be a way for us to resolve that. There we go. Just picking all of that up, get that in there. Now, over here, going to want to grab a bit more. If we can get everything, can I? No. Well, almost, but not quite. Very tragic. I'll pop that one there then. And then we're going to go up here. And we are, at this stage, going to have to go up along this river. All the way back, if we can. That will do very nicely. And there we are. We've now got the Animal Observatory. Allows use of a sonar ping to encourage animal species to move into a habitat that is appreciated for them. Well, let's have a look at if there's any more information on that. Solar amplifier, beehive, hydroponium, airship, recycling drone. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's read the airship. Build this quadricopter airship from available repurposed parts. Again, that's the part I love the most. The airship, once placed, is automatically constructed over time as you recycle other buildings. Recycling drone. This autonomous drone moves along rivers to recycle at loading docks. Your recycling drone can only move along rivers. Use excavators to create new riverbeds if necessary. Recycling silos, recycle surrounding buildings and store their resources for later collection. Silos must in turn be recycled by a recycling drone. The loading dock provides a place for the recycling drone to dock and recycle the surrounded area. Loading docks must have a path to the airship and the recycling drone. And then the pound lock. These mechanisms allow boats like the recycling drone to travel up and down waterfalls. Construct a lock if your recycling drone gets stuck on a hill. Is there anything else? Oh, there's the cloud seeder. Uses silver nitrate particles and available liquid to increase atmospheric humidity. Seeders have a large area of effect and cannot be built too close together. Is there any more buildings like the observatory I would like to see? There we go. Animal observatory. Facilitates observation of the habitat of local fauna. Once you build an observatory, you may use sonar pings to discover new animals. Okay, then on the topic of new animals, builds its home on rivers near forests. This grazer lives in herds on wide open grassland. This small amphibian lives in the reeds of wetland near fynbos fields. This predator prowls in a forest near to a source of prey. This large carniform's domain is a forest which contains a beehive and is on a hill. Marvellous. This web-footed waterfowl rests in large lakes when it is not flying. This colourful bird makes its home on the lush forest canopies beneath clear skies. Well, that's more than 7, so I don't know if we're going to be able to just pick what we want. That would be nice. Let's go ahead and pop this up here, so that way I'm going to be able to pull it back. Right, reintroducing fauna. The first step as cycling progresses is the reintroduction of animals. New animal species will help maintain the ecosystem long after your buildings are packed away. Animal species need to be scanned for. Open the scanning panel here. Use these animal portraits. Okay. To cycle between animals and get a hint about where each species lives. Use this button to scan for the selected species. Each scan will give you information about the suitability of the area. You'll need to find suitable habitats for at least 3 animal species. Good luck. We need 0 of 3. Alright, so deer needed... What was it said? Grazer lives in herds of wide open grassland. Okay. Okay. Requirement fully met. In range of 20 greenery tiles. Absolutely wonderful. Can I add more? Yes, more deer. There we go. Lovely. Alright, so what happens if it isn't right? Would this count? Requirement partially met. In range of greenery. Okay, so that probably didn't create any deer there. But these, we've now got a decent herd of deer over there. Next up, this small amphibian lives in reeds of a wetland near fynbos fields. I guess this one would work. Yep. We've got to have 10 wetland tiles and 5 fynbos tiles. Do we have fynbos around here? We kind of do. Maybe this would work. Maybe it won't. Let's try over here. Yeah, we got some frogs over there as well. That's wonderful. I wonder if we can get some here as well. Yep. Marvellous. Okay. Frogs are in. This large carniform's domain is a forest which contains a beehive and is on a hill. Really, though? A beehive on a hill. I think this is the only hill and it doesn't have a beehive. So let me just quickly add a beehive. Tonk. Actually looks lovely. In fact, given that, let me just add a couple of extra beehives. Because I can. And I want to. There we are. So many pollinators. Right, now let's try. So, we want to scan for a bear. Should be a forest on a hill with a beehive. There we go. Brown bear on a hill of at least 20 tiles. In range of at least 20 forest tiles. And in range of a beehive. Can I add a second one? I'm not sure if that's going to work. No. It needed... Was it not in range of forest tiles? Oh, the forest tiles got to be on the hill. Right, okay, fair enough. Maybe I could... I'd have to do a controlled burn in order to get it up there. So I guess we're just going to have a single bear. That's probably best for everyone, really, when you think about it. Right, let's see what we've got. They wanted large wetlands. A goose! Oh, no. What was I expecting? Well, this area is completely buggered. Sorry. I was trying to make it better. Somehow I've made it worse. I apologise. Not enough, though, to not do it again. Let's get a couple of them down. Look, maybe if we just give them lots of friends, they won't cause mischief for anyone else. Okay, that one doesn't have enough. In a lake of at least 4 radius. Oh. Nah, I'm not sure that's going to work. Right. Oh, no, it did. It did, okay. Fair enough. That's actually pretty cool. That's very cool. Right, we've got an industrial rodent built its home on a river near a forest. I think I should be able to do it. Well, will this count? In range of a river, not near a forest. Maybe... a river near a forest. That actually might be hard. Can I do something there? 10-tile forest, but not in range of a river. So it's going to have to be down here. Ooh. Okay. I would really like to have some beavers, so we're going to do something a little bit drastic. Don't mind me. We will have to remove these later, but we were going to have to do that anyway in order to get down here. So you know what? We'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Actually, don't kill any birds. Notice that the excavator is now much smaller, by the way. That was a humongous device. This is now significantly smaller. We should be able to cut all the way back down there with this. Punk. And there we are. That'll reconnect there. And then I want to go ahead and remove these specifically. There we are. That'll get rid of this, which will allow me to build a second one. Right back here. Right about there. And that should give us enough reach to be able to set up enough water for what we're going to need. Sorry, dear. My bad. Can we get one going over here as well? Sort of. Ish. I'm going to want to cut that back. But we should be able to connect up to the river by doing this. We've got loads of points. So this is right now just trying to get everything that we can in one go. Let's pop you in here. About there. Should grab all of these. And if we're lucky, this will actually connect that water source up for us. Something like that will do. But I strongly suspect we're going to actually need to add in a water pump around there. And this will connect everything up for us. There we are. Lovely. There we go. Now, what I want to do over here, though, is get a solar plant down and target this. Oh dear, I need to do something. I did not place these down. My bad. Huh. Now, the trick with this is that I actually need this to set a light in an area that it can then burn. Building, because I can only build the arboretum on the husk of a building. So, let's hope that this will count as well. There we are, perfect. That will do. Okay, crisis averted. Get you in there. And I'm going to just collect all of that up. There we are. Right, now this should be within range of the wetland. I'm hopeful. We can collect everything from around here at once. And if we now go to animals, let's see what we can do. So I need somewhere with trees and wetland. Let's see. In range of a river. In range of at least 10 forest tiles. Oh, sorry, not wetland. We need a river. How about here? There we go, beavers. Oh, it's because that was goose there. Okay, so we've got our beavers in position. Let's see if I can't... No, I'm not going to get any more over there, sadly. Oh, let's see about here. No, I couldn't get enough beavers there, but that's fine. We needed at least 20 tiles of river for that to count, but at least we got some. So we've got 5 out of 3. I need... What? The predator prowls in a forest near a source of prey. I don't think a bear is going to count as prey. I'm just going to put that out there. I suspect the bear will count as a source of death. For most things, really. Alright. I think it's time for another solar fire. I apologize for what is about to happen to you. That is going to nuke quite a lot of area. I'm going to pop down a few of these around the place just so I can make sure to get another... Oh, I can't get anything in there, damn. Wasn't fast enough. Alright, but that should be okay. Let's get this in here. And you're not going to do anything for me there. Now I've got to act fast because sadly the greening is taking away the trees. But that'll do. Now let's see if I can't get myself... Like that does not scan. Maybe this will work? Yep, there we go. A timber wolf. Requirement fully met in range of a group of deer. Oh, a deer the only things. It couldn't go for a beaver. Well, to be fair, a wolf attacking beaver doesn't sound very likely. But there we go. It's still saying undiscovered, which is interesting. I would have imagined they were discovered at this point, but alright. We've got the animals so far. We've got 6 of 3. And if we look at the beginning of the handbook, yeah, we've got 6 of 6 animals there. Okay. Well, we've done all we need to there then. So it's time at last for us to actually just swoop through once again, take out all the stuff I had to rebuild in order to get these things made. Will I be able to get that? I should be able to on this one as well. I will be able to get all of that in one go. Now, you're a little bit more of a potch at this juncture. Can I possibly get you? Oh, I can. That was luck and not judgment, and I am not afraid to admit it. We'll gather these multiples if I can. Not that it will matter, it's just it's going to reduce the travel time for my drone. I am going to have to create a pound lock here so that the drone can get up and gather these 2 sites. Let's pop that in there. Oh, was it not able to collect from that? Looked like it should have been able to, but apparently no. I'll have to see that in a moment. Right, there we are. Once the drone has used this pound lock to get up there and collect from you, I guess I could put one down here as well. And place in another lock. Loading dock. Loads of recycled materials. Yes, yes, yes. We want that about here. Did I not place that down? Oh. Did it just get deleted? Or something else? It might have. Let's place you in. I'll have a watch of this in action. I love the little details in this. That's so fantastic. The level of detail, the attention to the detail is glorious. Do you notice any of the parts from the buildings that we've been collecting? It'll be much more apparent when we wrap things up, but I very much appreciate the way that that all comes together. But yes, we also need to actually break down the pound lock itself. So we'll do something like this in just a moment. I guess I could just pull the pound lock down right now and then trap the drone up there, but I'd only have to rebuild the pound lock in the end. There we go. And that should be able to pull that up. And then we just need the final loading to be done. We are almost done. You can speed things up if you want to, but for this first episode at the very least, I'll take my time. You can just enjoy all of the features. You can have a proper look around as the beavers play, chasing a goose away, apparently, brave beavers. There goes some frogs there, staying well out of the water because there's a goose nearby. Right, and there we go. 100% recycled, all of the animals discovered, 100% humidity, everything is fully recycled, and we're off. All of our turbines have been repurposed as copter blades. We've got the arboretums, the hydroponics. I absolutely love the way that this looks in the end. We're not even going to leave the drone behind. You thought we were going to forget? No. There we go. And that's it. And this map is complete. Greening will continue and catch the last couple of places, but as the rains come down. But that's it. Wasteland reclaimed. What a fantastic little game this is. Now, of course, this is not the entirety of the game, but before we get to what rest of the game has to offer, actually, is there going to be animations for that? It'll be a bit grim, but also quite natural. But we can appreciate. So enjoy. We've earned it. After a hard day's work of restoring the post-apocalyptic wasteland to its previous glory, its post-human glory, we can once again slip away and just enjoy nature for all it's worth. Perhaps sipping a cup of tea. Perfect. Except for the geese. With that, you just need to click and then continue. Now, as I said, that is not the entirety of the game, though that is the core game loop. There are many more buildings, you may have noticed, that we're going to have to uncover. We've managed to grab all of the animals, climate thresholds achieved, all biomes restored, and we have completely... Oh, actually, no, only 70% is recovered down here. Restoration progress, 17%. We've now got a new area open up for us, though. Could we go back to River Valley? Oh, River Valley and locked. Can we go over here? Oh, Desolate Island. Ah, okay, so we've got a beach, mangroves, tropical forest, coral reefs. We've got another 6 animals. There are 11 climate thresholds to achieve here. There were only 7 back here, but this one is locked. I wonder if we just do River Valley again and that unlocks anything. I don't know. Maybe we need to keep going further and then we'll come back to this island eventually. It doesn't look like I can rotate the globe, though. But I imagine that as we go forward, we're going to start uncovering many more interesting buildings and biomes to interact with. But that will have to be for another episode. I really do hope you have enjoyed today's episode and the return to Terra Nil. Do let me know down in the comments below if you were here for the first taste and then a second taste. I guess that makes this the third taste. At the point that you're coming back for a third taste, I think it's fair to say that you liked what you tasted and you should just buy the cake. So this is us buying the cake, and I hope you're very excited to get more tastes of what this cake has to offer. It has many, many delicious layers, and we'll be getting into those in the coming episodes. But again, just as a forward, I will be kind of on holiday-ish, whilst, and you're never completely on holiday as a content creator, but I will be away from computer for the next couple of days, so comments will be read from my phone. I will reply to those that I have the chance to reply to, but I'm going to try and cut away from technology a little bit. I'm going to be getting back to nature, as it were. A cabin in the woods overlooking a lake. It's going to be grand, but I will be checking in, and thank you ever so much for any engagement you decide to leave as a tithe to St. Algorithmus. They get a little bit hangry at times, so it's good that we keep them fed. But that's going to be it. So until next time, do take care, everyone.